Chapter 1. What is Stoic philosophy? As we go through life, we experience moments of joy, but we also encounter unexpected difficulties and worries. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could navigate these ups and downs while maintaining inner peace? Today, we will explore Stoic philosophy, a school of thought that offers timeless wisdom for achieving tranquility. Originating in ancient Greece and Rome over 2,000 years ago, Stoicism remains remarkably relevant for modern life. The core principle of Stoic philosophy is living according to virtue. The Stoics believed that true happiness does not come from external factors such as wealth or fame, but from cultivating inner virtues, the qualities that define good character. They emphasized four key virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom is the ability to judge what is right. Courage is standing firm in the face of fear. Temperance is maintaining self-control and balance, and justice is treating others with fairness and integrity. According to the Stoics, practicing these virtues in daily life leads to unwavering happiness and inner peace. You might think that Stoicism is a difficult philosophy filled with abstract theories, but it is actually deeply rooted in everyday experiences. Have you ever reflected on your day and asked yourself, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? Or when faced with adversity, have you ever thought, what can I learn from this situation? These moments of self-reflection and rational thinking are precisely what the Stoics encouraged. Rather than being swept away by emotions, they taught that we should take a step back, analyze situations objectively, and respond wisely. One of the most famous Stoic teachings is the idea that a happy life requires very little. Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In other words, happiness is not determined by external circumstances, but by our mindset. While money, status, and success may be desirable, they do not define happiness. Instead, a life guided by wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice brings lasting fulfillment. The essence of Stoic philosophy can be summarized as follows. The greatest good is found within us. When we focus on developing inner virtues, we gain the ability to maintain peace and happiness regardless of what happens around us. Take a moment to think about what values are most important to you. Who do you admire, and what virtues do they embody? Try choosing one virtue to focus on today and apply it in a small but meaningful way. For example, if you choose honesty, practice speaking truthfully in all your interactions. If you choose courage, take a small step outside your comfort zone. Small daily actions help integrate Stoic principles into your life. Chapter 2. What you can and cannot control. This chapter explores one of the most powerful Stoic teachings, understanding what is within your control and what is not. This idea was central to the teachings of Epictetus, who famously said, "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control and some things are not." In other words, worrying about things beyond our control is a waste of mental energy. Instead, we should focus on what we can influence: our thoughts, choices, and actions. Epictetus had first-hand experience with this lesson. Born into slavery in ancient Rome, he had very little control over his circumstances. His master determined where he lived, what he did, and how he was treated. However, Epictetus realized one truth: no one can take away my ability to control my own mind. Even in hardship, he focused on his thoughts and attitudes, which ultimately led him to become one of history's greatest philosophers. Think about how much of your stress comes from worrying about things you cannot change. For example, if you have an outdoor event planned, you may worry about the weather. But no amount of worrying will change whether it rains or not. Instead, what can you do? You can bring an umbrella and adjust your mindset. Similarly, if your boss makes a critical comment about your work, you may spend hours dwelling on it, wondering if they dislike you. But your boss's opinions are beyond your control. What is within your control? You can improve your skills, learn from feedback, and respond professionally. Epictetus taught that we should divide everything into two categories: things we can control and things we cannot. Once we recognize this distinction, we can stop wasting energy on things outside our influence and focus on what truly matters. Think of a sailor in a storm. They cannot control the wind and waves, but they can control how they steer the ship. Similarly, in life, rather than dwelling on external events, we should focus on how we respond to them. Write down your current worries and categorize them into things you can control and things you cannot. Then make a conscious effort to let go of what you cannot change and take action on what you can. This practice will help free your mind from unnecessary stress and allow you to focus on what truly matters. Chapter 3. Mastering your emotions. We all experience emotions like anger, anxiety, and fear. While these feelings are natural, acting impulsively on them can lead to regret. The Stoics did not teach that we should suppress emotions, but rather that we should learn to manage them with reason. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Imagine driving and someone suddenly cuts you off. Your instinct might be to honk the horn angrily, yell, or even chase after them. But before reacting, ask yourself, did that driver intentionally try to upset me? Or could it have been a mistake? More often than not, there is no malicious intent. By pausing and analyzing the situation, you avoid unnecessary anger. Similarly, Seneca compared anger to a short madness, explaining that when we let anger control us, we lose our ability to think clearly. He advised taking a deep breath, counting to 5, and delaying a response to allow emotions to settle before making decisions. When it comes to anxiety and fear, Marcus Aurelius reminded us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Often, we create worst-case scenarios in our minds, fearing failure or embarrassment. But when we actually face the situation, it is rarely as bad as we imagined. The Stoics recommended focusing on what can be done in the present moment, rather than worrying about the future. Think of a recent situation where you reacted emotionally. What thoughts fueled your reaction? Now imagine how you could have paused, reframed your perspective, and responded more calmly. Next time you feel strong emotions rising, practice stepping back, breathing, and choosing a rational response. Chapter 4. Love your fate, Amor Fati. Life does not always go as planned. We experience setbacks, unexpected changes, and even painful losses. It is natural to feel frustrated and think, why did this happen to me? But Stoic philosophy offers a different perspective. Instead of resisting reality, we should embrace it completely. The concept of Amor Fati means love your fate. It teaches us not only to accept what happens, but to welcome it as something beneficial. Instead of wishing that life were different, we should see everything, both good and bad, as a part of our journey. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius put it this way: accept whatever comes to you, woven into the pattern of your destiny, for what could better suit your needs. This is not about passively giving up or pretending that difficulties do not exist. It is about realizing that resisting what is outside our control only creates suffering. A Stoic does not ask, why me, but instead asks, how can I use this? Imagine you prepared for an important exam or job interview, but the outcome was disappointing. Instead of dwelling on thoughts like, it's unfair or I should have succeeded, a Stoic would take a different approach. They would ask themselves what lessons they can learn from the experience, how they can turn this into something useful, and how a wise person would react in the same situation. Many people look back on difficult times and realize that what seemed like a failure was actually a turning point. A breakup, job loss, or rejection may lead to better relationships, careers, or self-discovery. Amor Fati allows us to trust the bigger picture, even when we cannot see it yet. Take a moment to think about a recent challenge in your life. If you were to embrace this situation rather than resist it, how would your mindset change? What opportunities or lessons might exist within this challenge? Write down 3 possible benefits of this experience. Practicing Amor Fati daily will help you develop resilience and find growth in every moment. Chapter 5. Remember death, Memento Mori. At first, the phrase Memento Mori, which means remember that you will die, may seem morbid or unsettling. But for the Stoics, thinking about death was not about fear. It was about learning how to truly live. We often act as if we have unlimited time. We put off important conversations, delay pursuing our dreams, and allow small annoyances to consume us. But what if we reminded ourselves that life is short? Would we live differently? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now." Let that determine what you do and say and think. Rather than depressing us, this realization sharpens our focus. It encourages us to stop wasting time on trivial things and instead prioritize what truly matters. When we live with the awareness of death, we gain clarity. We stop holding grudges, we stop worrying about things that do not matter, and we make more meaningful choices. Imagine today is your last day. Would you spend it arguing over something small? Would you keep waiting to tell someone you appreciate them? Would you still be worrying about the same things? Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The goal is not to fear death, but to use its awareness to live with intention and gratitude. When we accept that life is temporary, we stop postponing happiness and start appreciating each moment. Take a few moments to reflect. If you had only 1 year left to live, what would you change? What have you been putting off that truly matters? Choose one thing from your list and take action today. Small steps toward living with purpose will lead to a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Chapter 6. The Power of Virtue. What is the key to a good life? The Stoics believed the answer was simple: virtue. Unlike wealth, success, or pleasure things that come and go, virtue is something we can always control. It is the foundation of true happiness. The Stoics defined 4 key virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom is about thinking rationally and making thoughtful decisions. Courage is about doing what is right, even when it is difficult. Temperance is about practicing self-discipline and balance. Justice is about treating others fairly and with integrity. In everyday life, wisdom can be practiced by pausing before reacting and asking yourself whether your response is based on logic or emotion. Courage can be developed by speaking up when something is wrong and facing fears instead of avoiding them. Temperance is about avoiding excess, whether in food, work, or entertainment, and keeping things in moderation. Justice means acting with fairness, honesty, and integrity, even when no one is watching. Practicing these virtues consistently shapes our character and leads to a life of fulfillment and inner peace. Take a moment to reflect on which of these virtues you would like to strengthen. Choose one and focus on it for a day. If you choose temperance, try practicing self-control in small way, seating mindfully, limiting distractions, and staying calm in frustrating moments. At the end of the day, reflect on how it affected your mindset. Chapter 7. Daily Stoic Practices. Philosophy is not just something to think about, it is something to practice. The Stoics had daily habits to train their minds and live with greater wisdom. One of the most important Stoic habits is morning reflection. Before starting your day, take a moment to remind yourself that no matter what happens, you will remain calm and in control of your reactions. Marcus Aurelius would begin his mornings by preparing himself for difficulties, reminding himself that he would encounter people who are rude or ungrateful, but that he would not let them affect his peace. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to reflect on how you lived. Ask yourself what you did well, what you could have done better, and how you can improve tomorrow. Seneca practiced this every night, reviewing his actions and making adjustments so he could grow each day. Another Stoic practice is negative visualization. This involves imagining losing something valuable, your job, your health, or a loved one. While this may sound unpleasant, it actually increases gratitude. When we realize that nothing is guaranteed, we cherish what we have more deeply. Gratitude is another key practice. Each night, write down 3 things you are grateful for. By focusing on gratitude, we shift our mindset toward joy and contentment. Small moments like a kind conversation, a warm cup of coffee, or a quiet evening become sources of happiness. Take a moment to think about which of these Stoic practices you would like to adopt. Choose one and try it for a week. See how it changes your perspective and strengthens your sense of inner peace. Final thoughts. Stoic philosophy is not about eliminating emotions or avoiding challenges. It is about navigating life with wisdom, resilience, and inner peace. By practicing Amor Fati, Memento Mori, and the virtues of wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, we become stronger, calmer, and more fulfilled. Each moment is a chance to grow. Live with wisdom. Face challenges with courage. Be present. Your best life begins with the choices you make today. As we have seen, Stoic philosophy is not about avoiding difficulties or suppressing emotions. It is about facing life with wisdom, courage, and inner peace. By learning to embrace fate, to remember the shortness of life, and to live by virtue, we gain the strength to handle whatever comes our way. Each day is a new opportunity to apply these principles. Even the smallest step towards self-awareness, patience, or gratitude can lead to profound change. True resilience is not built in a day, but in the choices we make moment by moment. So as you move forward, ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? How can I respond with wisdom? What lesson is hidden within this challenge? The answers to these questions will shape not only your perspective, but also your life. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Stoicism. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect, to apply, and to share this wisdom with others. Until next time, remember your peace, your strength, and your happiness are already within you.